What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. Michigan State, Ohio State, Sunday, 4 p.m. in the Brez. Kind of a must-win game for Michigan State after dropping one against Iowa at home on Tuesday night, a game in which you were favored about 8 to 10 points. So now, as we've been mentioning the last couple weeks, got to win the games you're favored in, and compete against Purdue. Right now, should still be in the tournament. I don't believe that Michigan State should be worried about being on the bubble or anything, but this is definitely a, hey, you got to win this. If you finish the last 4 games of the season 0-4 or 1-3, then you could possibly be sweating come Selection Sunday, especially if you have an early exit in the Big Ten tournament. But let's just talk about this game. Now, Ohio State did recently fire Chris Holtmann, their head coach, about a week or two ago, and they actually went out and in the interim coaches coaching debut, they actually went out and upset Purdue at home 73-69. The key for Ohio State in that game was forcing 14 turnovers and only turning it over 6 times for them. Bruce Thornton and Jamison Battle has been pacing the scoring for them with 16 and 14 respectively, with Roddy Gale Jr. adding in about 14 as well. They do rank 33rd in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency, as well as being 22nd in offensive turnover percentage. So we saw that against Purdue. They don't throw the ball around the court just all willy-nilly. They take care of the ball. They value the possessions, and they're very efficient offensively because of that. Now they're also top 60 in two-point field goal defense and top 30 in both offensive free throw and blocking percentage. Mainly headed up in the paint by Felix Okpara, sophomore center for Ohio State, averaging 2.3 blocks per game. Last year when Ohio State bounced Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament, after MSU had beat them a couple days prior on senior night in the Brez, Bruce Thornton really controlled the game for the Buckeyes, going for a 21, 6, and 4. Roddy Gale Jr. also added 15 points as well, back on the squad this year for Ohio State, and this is the first matchup between these two teams this year. So the keys to the game, obviously trying to slow down Felix Okpara and Zed Key down low, given that paint scoring when you play Michigan State has been, let's just say, it's been pretty easy for opposing teams going up against Michigan State, as Michigan State's front court has obviously struggled this year, as we talk about every single video. So trying to contain Felix Okpara and Zed Key, which are both shooting over 50%, and Okpara actually close to 60% on the season. And then of the 3 main scorers, who are you going to take away? Thornton, Battle, or Gale Jr.? My guess is Thornton will get his. He's a really good player, and I imagine the staff is going to try to take away Battle, probably a Malik Hall matchup, and if they can, I believe they'll try to throw AJ on Gale to slow him down. Although Thornton is a bigger guard, I could see Tyson and AJ swapping out who guards Thornton and who guards Gale, but I think Battle versus Malik Hall is kind of that key matchup that the staff will try to take away, and then try to either take away one of the paint presence in Zed Key, which Zed Key I believe doesn't even start, Okpara, but obviously bigs have just gone off against MSU, so my guess would try to be go after Battle and Gale in terms of Malik Hall, and then either AJ Hoggard or Tyson Walker kind of switching up looks for them on the defensive side of the ball. For Michigan State, will the guys respond again? You know, after everyone's feeling good, after winning 4 of 5, 8 of 10, you know, you lay kind of a stinker against Iowa on Tuesday night, a game, as like we said, favored by 8 to 10 points. You know, a game you're supposed to win at home against a team in Iowa who has had some okay moments this year, but overall isn't the Iowa teams that had the Murray twins or, you know, Luka Garza, any of those teams, you know, really, you know, I wouldn't say that that's a bad loss, but it's a bad loss in terms of expectations going into the game, especially off the high of getting that rivalry win last Saturday, even though, yes, Michigan is bad, but, you know, you won 3 straight then, as we said, 4 of 5, 8 of 10 going into that game, a home game that you're supposed to win, and, you know, suffering kind of a letdown. And the frustrating part was we got a quote from, I believe, Graham Couch of the Lansing State Journal had this quote, or I don't even want to say quote, he just, you know, noted that Davis Smith kind of sensed it in pregame warmups, which I don't think I mentioned in the video, but was kind of sitting there, and I'll get those, you know, kind of feelings sometimes when you're sitting in there and you're like, I don't know, something feels off about, you know, the vibes. And, you know, thankfully, sometimes I'm wrong, but sometimes, you know, broken clock is right twice a day. And, you know, I kind of felt that, you know, the start of the game, And kind of in the warm-ups, like there wasn't just a lot of juice, like, not, calling out the crowd, it was still a decent crowd, but, there wasn't a lot of energy pregame, wasn't, when Iowa ran on the court, wasn't a lot of, boos or heckling, whatever, which I get. It's not like a top 10, top 15 matchup, not expecting that to be the type of environment, but Michigan State is one of, if not the best environment in the Big Ten and one of the best in the country as well. And, you got to bring it up, especially when, that's your third to last home game. You have this game against Ohio State, then you have senior night against Northwestern. So one of your last games, you got to bring it. And I felt like everything, the team, the environment, the crowd, etc., everything was kind of off at the beginning of the game, and it, transpired on the court the way it did. And I guess Davis Smith did call the team out, that he could sense it in warmups. So, we need more leadership step up. We've got a couple quotes now from, Davis Smith this season stepping up. So that's big. You would love one of your seniors, whether A.J. Hoggard, Tyson Walker, Malik Hall. Not saying these guys don't. It's only came out about Davis Smith, and we've seen A.J. do some good things on the floor. A couple weeks ago, I believe it was the Illinois game. Yeah, it was the Illinois game where Izzo was going on the court trying to, say something to Akins, and AJ was like, no, I got this. We need more of that, and we need it constantly, 40 minutes from all of our seniors, all of our leaders, Jaden Akins included, our seniors, Jaden Akins, everyone on down. We need it because it's a trickle-down effect for everyone. And so if we're going to do anything in March, that's the recipe for success right there. How will Jaden Akins respond as well? He had a rough night being in foul trouble on Tuesday night. The bigs, Maddie's only been playing 5 to 7 minutes a game. Coop and Jackson got a majority of the run, but all year they've struggled down low on defense as a unit. How will they respond? Also, the same guys, in terms of Jackson and Coop, and really Maddie, but obviously he hasn't played much the last couple of games, but they've missed some, easy bunnies right at the rim. If they can clean that up and get a few of those in, maybe a couple of these close losses turn out differently. But the main thing, I think, you have your 4 guys. You have AJ, Tyson, Jaden, and Malik. Really, you need these guys on defense, to be a defensive stalwart in the paint. If they clean that up, Michigan State will be A-okay. So how will they respond, and, will they be able to get anything going against one of the better blocking teams in the country? And then also, we're not doing the whole song and dance about, Xavier Booker and Cohen Carr. Just can Booker and Carr please get some extended run? We saw Book get 2 runs in the first half, and as I said in the, the post-game reaction to that game, I was, up there like, yes, finally. But neither Booker or Carr got to step foot on the court in the second half, which is very disappointing because I thought they both gave some solid run in their couple minutes in the first half, and they have over the last couple weeks and at the times that we've seen them this season. So will we? Won't we? Who knows? Also, kind of just looking at season as a whole and going forward, the last couple games of the season, Big Ten and NCAA tournament, a mildly, maybe extremely concerning stat, which I knew it was bad, but looking at your free throw percentage, 70% essentially from the free throw line, which ranks 266 in the country. That could be concerning. We have seen this team hit some clutch free throws. We've also seen them miss some clutch free throws down the stretch. So that's got to get cleaned up, along with some other things going forward into the last week of February and into March. But according to Bart Torvik, MSU is favored by 8, 73 to 65. Got to get a win. Got to win games you're supposed to. You got to finish 3-1 at worst these last 2 weeks. You have at home against Ohio State. Then you have at Purdue. Obviously, that'll be a tough one. Then you have senior night against Northwestern, and then at Indiana for their senior night on the last day of the regular season on Selection Sunday. So just got to get a win here. Thank you all so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace out and go green.